Steve here for SaintsFan.TV, and today I'm joined by Hasan Steve. We're here outside the home of Hampshire Football, St Mary's, and we're going to be discussing Maarten's exit from Saints and the new Saints French manager
Koeman. He's been heavily linked with us, but obviously there's been no official announcement yet from the club. We're expecting something before pre-season, the 1st of July. This is when players who haven't featured in any international football over the summer, for example, Jay Rodriguez, Charlie Austin, Paulo Gazzaniga, just those sort of players will be coming back and they will be joining the team. There's been a number of people who've been linked with the club. Fan favourite's been Frank de Boer. I understand Pellegrini. He also had talks with the club. From what I understand is the club felt he wasn't the right person to take the job, and I'm hearing Claudio Puel is set to be announced. He's a manager who managed Liga 1 in France.
Yeah, won the league, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he finished in the 4th with Nice. Yeah.
That's nice.
A lot of fans have been raising a few eyebrows saying, why can't we get someone like Pellegrini? He won the Capital One Cup, and a lot of fans at St Mary's are now crying out for a bit of silverware.
He's a winner.
Exactly, we want trophies back at St Mary's, and more than anything, it's all good, finishing 6th or 7th, picking up TV money. But what the club and the city as a whole wants is silverware. I think Pellegrini, if you look at him, he has done really well in the cups. For example, obviously in the Champions League, they went out in the semi-finals, gave Real Madrid a fairly good game. I think they'll be very disappointed they didn't actually go through in that one. And obviously they won the Capital One Cup as well. They obviously sacrificed the FA Cup for the Champions League, but I thought Pellegrini would have been a great fit here. People are saying that, well, his age, he's too old, He's the sort of manager that will only be able to manage here for a year or two, and then he'll possibly retire and move on to another club. But I think that any manager that comes here and does well will move. We have to simply accept it, that any manager who comes here will do well. Because we are a selling club, and we unfortunately get the best managers and best players taken away from us. Because obviously the Liverpools, the Tottenhams can pay double or triple the wages that our club can. So be it if a good Pellegrini had come for a year or two, maybe got us into the top 4 and then left, we will still have had the great foundations and great attraction as well. I don't know a lot about this new manager. I think give him a chance. We've all heard the players in Liga 1 who've come to the Premier League lately have done amazing. Just look at the likes of Payet. So I think this guy will be good for us, but we never know.
Southampton has said that they were particularly impressed by Puel's, is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Track record and vision for the job, specifically a willingness to promote young players playing a pressing, attacking football and experience of European football. So
I think that's
maybe he's a dart, like everything else.
Referring to
all
these,
the other hirings,
referring to these quotes, I think that's an amazing. Because you've got to look at Ronald Koeman.
But then look at Remy Gard.
I think what you need to look at is Mauricio Pochettino. We all raised eyebrows on that.
Yeah, who?
January 2013 when Adkins was sat, we goes, who is this person? And one thing which Ronald didn't actually do, which I think this guy sounds like he wants to do, bring in young players. Yeah. Matt Targett was the only one he brought in, but I remember under Pochettino he gave Luke Shaw a go, Callum Chambers, Sam Gallagher, who I don't honestly rate him, but he gave him 3 or 4 games to prove himself. I think Koeman came out with a statement saying they're not good enough. His word saying for being the first team.
They can't just go from having goes and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, they're not good enough.
It's not really a motivation for them. It's a bit disheartening for them as well. Because the likes of Ryan Seager, who I would love to see play at St Mary's. He looks like a really good player. We're not getting to see players like him play. And obviously it is really frustrating for the fans, like the Sam Hesketh as well. So I think we're going to have to wait and see on that. But if he is going to promote these players, you guys, he had a great vision. When I think of vision, I see ambition. If this guy's got ambition to maybe, put the club in the top 4, Champions League football, so be it. And that's great. And
maybe we don't know what Ronald Koeman is really like behind closed doors. Maybe he is really arrogant and he grates against people and people don't like playing for him.
I'm not one to
that could be an
spread rumours, but I heard that a number of people in the club were happy to see him go.
Well, you look at the statement Saints made. There was no "we thank Ronald for his time" over the 2 years. It was just Ronald Koeman's left, full stop.
I think this gives us a good indication that he left on a very bad note.
Because he switched to
Everton.
He switched agents.
From Southampton, was it?
I think his original agent turned the offer down because Koeman said he would stay.
Yeah.
And then he said, "What are you doing?" Then he got a new agent who got them you've got the talks going and stuff.
Yeah, it is really hard, obviously hearing two different stories, One I was come out and said I want to take it into the last year, and the club said no. Over a year ago, we actually won the Under 21s Cup. I came to this game, it was a great occasion, get to see. I think there really are some promising players coming through. The most concerning thing is for the players' departure, which brings us on to Sadio Mane, who I understand today is having a medical at Liverpool for a fee which has been agreed, 36 million. Some people saying, well, we should be selling him. I know everyone will be saying, oh, he wasn't great last season, but you can't honestly turn around and say he was bad. You look at that game at Christmas against Arsenal, he was amazing. Chelsea away, he was amazing. Even United away to a certain extent, he was amazing. We've lost two really good players at the moment, Victor Wanyama and Sadio Mane. Those were the two influential players that helped us, which I think was the game of the season here at St Mary's last season, when we came from 2-0 down against Liverpool
3-2.
To win 3-2, exactly. And anyone who watched that game could see at half-time, it could have been 3 or 4. We were honestly that bad. We were just crap. And those two players came on and they absolutely changed the game for us. Now, they're not going to be here at St Mary's next season, which puts a lot of pressure on the board and the recruitment to bring in players who are of a similar calibre. And this is very important. I do sometimes fear for the worst, because everyone remembers the 2014 summer, and the head of recruitment then has actually left the club. He left in the 2014 winter, and he was the main person. Yeah, he went to Spurs. He was the main person that brought in the likes of Shay Long, Dusan Tadic, Ryan Bertrand, Fraser Forster. Those are now key players of ours. This is the person that brought him in. And obviously, I believe our new head of recruitment we got from Huddersfield Town. Okay, he has recruited okay, but
he's from Huddersfield Town.
I believe he worked there before.
What league are they in?
But he brought in, I think, the likes of Maarten, Stekelenburg, or Romeo. He did okay. Some people were saying maybe Koeman slightly sloppy. Cedric Suarez lacked that bit of strength which we needed, which Clyde had. So I think our recruitment last year wasn't bad. It was good. For example, Jordy Classy and Van Dijk, they were amazing. I think those were probably the two best players. But I just think it's going to put more and more pressure on the club to get it right. And I just think it's going to be really, really hard to just keep selling your best players, replacing them with the better. And
it's not sustainable, is it? Really?
Yeah.
You can't just keep doing this every season, every 2 seasons. Just give players and managers a stepping stone. The mercenaries, they're just seen it as a way of getting a bigger paycheck.
Yeah, I think early on the season in October, when there was a fan forum with the board, Les Reed and Ralph Kruger, a lot of fans asked about the players' departures, and they said we simply can't pay the wages. Not really, because
I think Katarina, I think she's worth 3 billion personally. I don't know whether she's got that in the bank or under the mattress, or show me the money.
She took the club on from my father. She had a real passion for the club. She built the training ground for the club. She's kept the club in his memory. But you've got to ask, does she want to take us to the next level?
Just tweak the ethos of the club a little bit.
A lot of people ask questions when Nicola Cortese left. That, well, this was a person, who got us from -10 in League One, got to JPT and got us all the way up into the top 8 of the Premier League. Obviously then, Ralph Kruger came in. He seems like a nice person, but I don't think he's the right footballing man which we need. Obviously we've got Les Reed, who deals with all the football and finance, but a lot of questions have been asked of him, because he said that we simply can't pay the wages of the players who are playing for us, who are gone playing for Tottenham and the so-called big clubs. Like, you look at the amount of TV money. West Ham finished below us, and they are splashing big cash at the moment, putting 28 million pound bids in for players. I think in football you have to make a gamble. Liverpool, obviously, that time they bought Andy Carroll for 35 million. Didn't pay off. I think that's part of the game. You have to accept it. But it is really disappointing, obviously, the fans, and also for the board not to even make contact with them. Well, even not to let the fans know what's happening.
They only confirm something in the press when it's confirmed. They don't sort of paper talk.
Yeah, but I'd like to bring on to another thing
stuff
about Morgan Schneider. Everyone remembers in 2014.
Do you remember him?
He quoted, 6 years of greatness, you ruined in 1 hour. What was he referring to? He saw Luke Shaw, Lallana, major best players leave this club. He quoted, or I tried to contact with the club, but there was no response. If you can't respond to your own players, then what sort of message does that give? Luckily, he was a great servant to the club. You know, I love him to bits. You know, he did so much for us. People pay £500, £600 season tickets next season. At least they deserve. Tell us what's happening. You know, I've heard rumours of, you know, Graziano Pele moving. Obviously, he hasn't moved yet because he's playing in the Euro 2016.
Well, I saw on Instagram someone posted a photo of Ryan Bertrand saying he's the next one to leave. But that could just be someone winding everyone up, but whether that's true or not.
There's actually a lot of Liverpool fans who are tweeting about it. That's probably why. After Koeman left St Mary's, Ryan Bertrand came out and put full faith in the board, which as a player, that's the right thing to do. And he goes, you know, I'm sure, you know, they'll recruit a new good manager. And he said he was 100% happy with the situation. Probably, I can't see Ryan Bertrand leaving unless we get a crazy bid for him. Nathan Redmond.
Yeah.
From Norwich. He's a promising player. I've done a lot of I've analysed his performances. I think he could potentially be a great player. You know, linking up with the likes of Stephen Davis, Rory Romeo. He is the sort of player that I think in a good side he would do really well. People say he's the first 11 starting player. Personally, I think he's the sort of player that comes off the bench and makes an influence. You know, you've got to look at that Saints team and say who's he going to replace. But the way things are going with manager and a few players leaving, you know, none of us, you know, would have predicted this summer. So it is really disappointing. They need to just appoint a manager at the moment. They shouldn't worry about any of the speculation of other players wanting to move or anything else. They should just appoint a manager, get him in, you know, give him a bit of cash now. Because I think we've sold Victor Wanyama for 11. We've got a £5 million compensation for Ronald Koeman, £5 million for 1B. Now we're going to get 34 for a net spend of about minus 45 million, about around that. So, you know, that should be money which they should put back into the club. Now, a lot of fans are going to be looking for who can we replace Sadio Mane with? You know, it's a very difficult question because, you know, you look around and think there's not many players like him. You know, obviously, some people said Nathan Redmond was a replacement for Mane.
Mid-season he wasn't. But then, like you said, there are a few games where he just blew them away, really.
I honestly think we wouldn't have finished in the top 6 without Sadio. 8th or 9th. Because at the end of the season, he really turned up.
Apparently we're getting the Northern Ireland keeper. He's out of contract.
There's a lot of speculation, but personally,
as backup.
We've had Paolo Gazzaniga at the club since 2012.
Yeah.
Now, if anyone who's actually seen Paolo in the under-21s have actually seen his progression. He also he featured in the first team here at Crystal Palace near the Christmas time, and he had an amazing game. Only if the fans that went to Selhurst Park would know this. It could have been 4 or 5-0. Gazzaniga pulled off some great saves. He might sign for the club, but seeing with Ronald Koeman's left now, I find that highly unlikely. That we'll just have to wait. We do need a third goalkeeper. I think we are going to need quite a few players now, obviously. But one player I would like to see come into the club is Hakim Ziyech. A lot haven't actually heard of him.
Hakim Ziyech.
Yeah, he's actually. I've looked at his performance. His stats look very impressive. He played for FC Twente, who I believe have been relegated from Eric Diab due to financial reasons. I think he's got like 17 goals and 11 assists this season, which is really impressive. He's an attacking winger. He's very skillful. I think he would be the sort of person that we could possibly get to replace Sadio Mane. Personally, some fans are saying, why can't we go for someone like Yannick Bolasie? If the club really want to make a big statement, why don't they throw the cash at Crystal Palace and say, here you go, Crystal Palace, you've got £30 million here for Yannick Bolasie. If you put a really crazy bid, because he is a great player, Yannick Bolasie. I think he'll do amazing in this team, and buy someone like that. They will, you know, a lot of fans are saying, let's read out at the moment. I think they'll start to back the board. Now, I'm not saying I'm not backing the board, but I am asking questions at the moment. Because you can't, I believe, do every single summer, sell your best players. You know, we look at other clubs around us. John Stones from Everton. £30 million bid they got from Chelsea. They said no. Why can't Southampton Football Club make a statement like that? And why can't they just reject that Liverpool offer and just say, they'll send a big statement. Because what's going to happen now is, I think we're going to get a few more bids from a few more players. Shay Long. You know, obviously Isla went out yesterday in the Euros, but anyone that watched his performance, he was amazing, making runs, and he was just amazing, anyone that watched his performance. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if someone put a bid in for him. So it's very important that the club make a statement now of appointing. If they are going to appoint Claudio Puel, so be it. We have, unfortunately, despite all the negativity and all the players leaving, we have to have faith in the board.
Well,
they're the only ones that can simply get us out of this situation where players are leaving, which isn't nice, because unfortunately the players we are losing are our best players. And when me left, a lot of fans weren't really fussed, to be honest. And, oh, he wasn't the sort of player that adapted to the Premier League. Oh, the move wasn't for him. I hope he goes on to do really well. But we've lost two main players here, and you know, I fear for the worst that we could possibly lose more.
Well, going back on the new managers,
Which is, you know, everyone at Southampton, you know, are fine when, you know, someone from the academy comes through, we get right behind them. I think they embraced, you know, the atmosphere and everything. So it is really disappointing that he didn't do that, and I think that's one thing which Mauricio Pochettino did very well. And I hope this new manager, comes in and does that. But yeah, you know, it's not all doom and gloom. You know, we still have some great players. You know, Dusan Tadic, Virgil van Dijk, Jose. I think our back four's solid. We've still got a great keeper in Fraser Forster. I don't see him going anywhere. You know, obviously,
they've signed a 6-year contract, so
yeah, exactly. So they won't be going anywhere.
3 or 4 years.
Obviously, everyone knows that I think Koeman took Jan Stekelenburg and his brother Erwin Koeman to Everton, but we did keep Dave Watson and Sammy Lee. Sammy Lee's a great coach. Most fans know about him, his track record. You know, he did at Liverpool, and he's been great since he's come here. You know, he's really motivated the players, and he's done really well. So I think it was really key that we kept Sammy and Dave Watson. Obviously, Ronald Koeman's gone. A lot of fans call him a snake because you left. I think it was the money. It was obviously the money, which is, I think that's just football now, isn't it?
But then,
really?
you know, bigger paycheck, but if you're sacked by Christmas, then mid-table by Christmas.
I think he's going to have a lot of pressure there now.
Yeah.
You know, at Southampton, you know, everyone gets behind them. You know, and our expectations aren't as high as because Everton are here are going to spend like 165 million because their new owner, which they've got, which is Mashiri, who understands a billionaire,
random billionaire.
You know, he's going to invest, you know, millions.
Is that what Saints need? Maybe is just someone who is a multi-billionaire, like King Power guys, come in and just say, we'll just throw a load of cash at you.
But there is a big danger in that. If you look at clubs like QPR,
or Portsmouth,
where they now. QPR have got massive depths in the Championship. They couldn't even put a bid to get back in the Premier League. Obviously Portsmouth as well, and it took us so long to rebuild what we have today. Personally, I wouldn't take the risk, but what I wouldn't do is I would recruit well and keep our best players. I think I understand to a certain extent Victor Wanyama leaving because he could have actually agreed to leave on free in January, but it's still very disappointing that, you know, we couldn't get these players under long-term contracts. Obviously, Victor wanted to work under Mauricio Pochettino, who brought him here. So he left on a really good note, Victor. I read his message, his letter to the fans. It's all about how the players leave as well. Yeah. Obviously, you know, Lovren, he left in a really bad way.
Yeah, Lovren's CNT.
I think one good thing about Shadai and Wanyama is they gave us an extra season. And, you know, I know everyone's going to say, oh, Victor didn't play great, but he gave everything. A lot of clubs are going to see, you know, Southampton have sold a few of their best players. They might put a bid in for Ryan Bertrand. They might want to, you know, test the Saints. Are they a selling club? Are they really, you know, a selling club, or are they going to stand firm? Personally, I hope that we won't see any more departures. The only possible departure we could have is Graziano Pelle. Understand he's got a year left on his contract here.
But then he's, you know, I personally think he's fitting, you know, not that.
He's inconsistent.
Hot, yeah.
But I've seen him play in the Euros, and he still offers, like, for example, against Belgium, he was amazing. He still offers that something different, to which when you're not winning games, you can sometimes shoot the ball up to Pele.
He'll hold it,
and he can change games. Yeah. But there are some, obviously, performances which we saw from Graziano this season which were appalling. For example, I remember Chelsea home. We were 1-0 up, we were coasting on, Pele came on, we lost 2-1. A lot of fans said he gave the ball away a lot, but anyway, I think keeping Pele would be great. Obviously, he's only got a year left on his contract. He's been in talks with a number of Serie A clubs, according to his agent. So
it's just down to big Les Reed now. Les, if you're watching, let us know what's happening, man.
Yeah,
give us a shout.
The main thing for the fans is try and stay positive. Everyone's got anger towards the board at the moment, but you know, some more angry than others. Some have got a lot of trust in the board, but we just got to stay together. I'm hearing a lot of Saints fans arguing with each other, saying, "Oh, the board aren't ambitious. You know, Catherine needs to sell the club." Others saying, "How dare you say that? Her father, you know, done so much for the club. You know, she's carried his honours legacy." I think, you know, forget the arguing. I think just get behind the club. Clubs target us because they look at our track record of selling big players and they go for us. Obviously, Liverpool. I've really got the stat that's saying like 80% of like Saints players that scored against Liverpool lately have gone on to move on. To move Ricky Lambert, you know, Dejan Lovren, Nathaniel Klein, who scored last season, the first day of the season, and obviously Sadio Mane got 3 goals. You know, 4 goals against Liverpool this season, in fact. So, you know, any player scores against them, they're normally on the move.
But the grass is greener at St Mary's, guys. So
Yeah,
if
definitely.
you're watching
It's always, you know, we look at the
grass.
players who've gone on to move, and you know, Schneider on the latter end of the season was a bit on the bench a lot. You know, he didn't play much at all. You know, and so I think Lallana's come good now. You know, I'm not Lallana's biggest fan for what he did, but you've got to look at what he's been quite good for England in the Euros, and you know. But I think we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, Callum Chambers went to Arsenal. I don't even think he gets a shout in the team now. So, you know, it's football, we move on. You know, we've been here before, Saints fans, so, you know, I wouldn't worry at all. I think the phrase, "we march on," is so important. I love that phrase.
Hashtag.
And just thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to this SaintsFan.TV. We'll be doing loads more videos across the summer on transfers, rumours, etc. So thanks for watching.